Cheers, cheers. We are here. It is Thursday, and that means you are listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And you know that I miss you from week to week to week to week. And you know I don't like to cheers alone. And I have my beautiful, beautiful guest co-host in the building. Hey, Lydia T.
Hey, Syndy B.
So we made it here safe and sound. It is Braves home game night. I don't even know who they playing. You know? Do you know? Do you know, Lydia?
I don't.
You know we don't know. No. We don't know. All we know is it's traffic, and more traffic. Okay? So listen, we have an amazing show for you tonight. My special guest today is Mr. Khari Needlz Cain. Okay? Khari Needlz Cain. I need you to Google him. He is a Grammy award-winning artist, has been working with the likes of Cardi B, Bruno Mars, Drake, just to name a few. So we're going to talk about his life in the music industry, how he juggles his professional life, his successful professional life, but we're also going to talk about his beautiful daughter, Michaela, and how he balances his professional life and his personal life with being a dad. And we'll talk more about hashtag Michaela fighting autism. That's the hashtag I want you all to follow. I want you to make sure you share our video and do the hashtag Michaela fighting autism. We're going to talk all of those things when we come back. We have a great show for you today. I'm going to try not to cry, Lydia.
Yes.
Let me tell you something, because my emotions just thinking about today in excitement, as a mom, yeah. My nerves have been on 10 today. I'm sure. I'm going to tell you that the truth. Okay, so we are looking forward to Needlz getting in the building. You are listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
Right.
I think we.
This is your new favorite internet radio, Power 108.9.
Top kept jumping.
You want to answer that,
from like
don't
618 to like 625 to like 634.
I bet it's just killing you seeing the soft glow just inches away. Someone wants to tell you something or ask you something. Oh, come on. Answer it already.
Gotcha.
Just so we're clear, that wasn't my fault. Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive.
Stay up on what's happening here at Power. We've got new shows, new guests, and new events that help us connect with the community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Power 108.9. You can also go to power1089.com to get all of the updated news and happenings here at Power. Thanks for listening.
Okay, all of that. Send Cindy.
And the girl that sings "You," Nicole Buss, she sounds like Jasmine Sullivan. I always thought that was Jasmine Sullivan until like reading his bio, and I was like,
Oh, that wasn't him, right? Coming with her.
Yeah, come on. Please me, baby. Turn around and just tease me, baby. You got what I want and what I need, baby.
Let me hear you say,
Please.
let me hear you say.
Please.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. Eddie, the engineer, up in here making the move right up in here, playing the jams. Lydia, what's
Hey,
been going
sis.
on this week, girl?
everything,
Everything like what?
everything. Mommy in business,
It's back
a
to
little
school.
pleasure. Yeah, it's back to school. I'm so grateful for that.
What kind of pleasure you been getting into?
A little bit of everything.
So while we're waiting on our guest, you know, there's a few key hot topics that's going on in the news right now. One of the things, have you been keeping up to speed on Wendy Williams and her estranged, I call it estranged, but they, you know, they making it work with their son, situation with, you know, their older son, Kevin.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping abreast of what's been going on with that? Because you know the history that she has about putting everybody's business out there and judging it and everything. Have you been keeping abreast of it?
I have not. If anything changed other than I guess they confirmed that it was his baby, right?
Yes.
And the last thing that I remember is that when people were addressing it with her, she was saying that she didn't want to talk about it. And I'm like, that's an oxymoron. You
Okay.
talk about everybody's business.
Okay. Well, yeah, she definitely does and
Yeah.
puts it out there. And if they're a guest on the show, she definitely
she
is
digs in.
very straightforward. But you know what? I've been watching some of her interviews now, you know, that she's open to talking about it on her own terms and on her, you know, the platforms that she chooses. My heart kind of goes out to her. Now,
What's the real deal? Like, what happened?
Okay, so I don't know, because she has a I think on Lifetime or something. So she has a whole situation coming out, and I'm gonna be with my tea
Yes.
watching that, because she's producing it with them and all that. So she's gonna tell the whole truth. It's not a third party
Right.
telling her story
Right.
on her behalf or what they know of it. It's gonna be her, and I think she's gonna go all in.
I think she will. I think it's definitely going to be interesting, and I'm for sure going to be watching.
I'm definitely watching. Okay.
Like, I'll probably be watching at your house.
Exactly. So apparently, you know, when people were talking about it and accusing him of it and showing pictures and things, she never addressed it. And so always on the show, she might mention what her and her husband did, you know, that weekend. If a scenario like that were to have happened in your past or happen now or whatever, would you play it off until you were ready you realize how you wanted to handle it or address it or what?
Yeah, I believe I definitely would. I mean, because think about it. It's so many different mixed emotions. She probably was finding out things as the public would,
Yeah.
you know, so would
now
play
she's
it.
saying that she knew for a couple years.
Wait, so
She's saying that. Now she's saying
her mind should have been made up a long time ago.
But what I've been reading, and this is all alleged, you know, but that she had to, you know, she makes a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh no.
And
I
so
get that.
sometimes you got to put your pieces together that works out the best. And if he's having an affair, she had to let that kind of come to fruition first.
Right.
To be able to keep them going.
I mean, but I couldn't, that's the part that I wouldn't be able to do. So like, if I know that you're having an affair, I'm going to cut off. Like, it's going to be a shut off.
Oh my goodness. So I'm totally the opposite.
So you'll let it play out?
Oh yes.
Ooh,
because
no.
you know why? Because I don't want to give you any space to backpedal.
Right.
Or try to like, oh no, this is what it was. And you know in your gut it is what you think it is, but
Right.
they have found a way to finagle themselves out of it because you have no documentation or proof. So she was saying she knew for the last couple of years because she had her own proof.
Right.
She definitely seems like a private investigator kind of person.
Oh, for sure. She's nosy. Of course. Yes. That
exactly.
makes her the best investigators.
Right. She probably had to pay for it. It's probably already on the payroll.
Exactly.
So I had a scenario one time. We were not even in a committed relationship. So you definitely didn't need to do all that kind of lying the way that he did. We were just dating. I was probably one of, a few, and he was definitely one of, a couple, guys that I was dating. But there was one particular female that I felt like, listen, if you want to spend some time with that person, like, go do that. Like, you don't have to be doing the most and lying and saying you're tired and all that. It's like, okay, now, he was much older than I, at that time. It's like, okay, now I'm younger and I can even handle this, So one time,
oh Lord,
he left me in his apartment.
Don't tell me somebody that knocked on the door.
No, I had that happen before. But Jesus. He left me in his apartment by myself. I forgot what errand he had to run or something he had to do or whatever. And he was a fan of taking a lot of pictures. And so I went through his pictures.
Where? On a camera?
It was old school. It was before digital,
right. So like, where were the pictures? On a camera? They were actually photographs?
He loved printing them. So he would actually print them and keep them in boxes. So I went, was looking at the pictures, went through the pictures, and I saw the girl in compromising positions. And
spill it, Sin.
Oh,
what kind of positions was she in?
Hey, Mom. Look, my mom is a private investigator, so she was like, "Did someone say private investigator?" So,
hey, Mom.
So, I saw the pictures. And so it confirmed what I knew because I had confronted him about it. Like, you don't have to lie about it. You have the right to see whomever you want to see. My only thing was if we were out together, like, you can't be hollering at other people, just like he wouldn't want me to do that. And so I laid the pictures out nice and neatly on the bed. And I wrote a little letter that said, basically, I told you I knew what the hell I was talking about.
Right.
And something else. It wasn't anything mean or anything like that. And I disappeared for a long time from him. And he was blowing up my phone.
Of course.
He was blowing up my phone. And to me, it's just, especially if you were older than me, I feel like if I'm cool, you doggone should be cool.
Exactly.
So anyway, yeah, I'm a private investigator too. I'm going to see it all because I'm going to, I need evidence.
Right.
So that you cannot.
See, I feel like I'm the type, if I have a little bit of evidence, I'm just jumping up.
You ready to roll. Like, you're ready to go off on it.
I don't know if I can keep it.
Have you ever, tell me a scenario where you feel like, even if they didn't go all the way, it was just something that was fishy where you just went off and then either they backpedaled or it wasn't what you thought it was.
I didn't have that experience.
No. But you just know. You know how you would be though.
Yeah. I believe. I mean, it's one thing to say how you would be, and then it's something different to actually experience.
Oh no, but sometimes you know.
I feel like I strongly know. Like, I'll be like, this not it.
Yes.
Like, it's a no.
Yes. Okay, so switching a little bit because speaking of Wendy, and she's put. I wonder what her opinion would be on Jay-Z right now. Have you heard his new partnership with the NFL?
No.
Okay, so that's recent. That's brand new between today, maybe yesterday or something like that, where they did the whole press release. So in the past, with Colin Kaepernick,
yes,
he has been a supporter of his mission, his movement, and even I think, if I'm not mistaken, he declined the offer. The opportunity to perform at halftime or something.
Yes,
like
I
that.
remember he did do that.
Okay.
Yes.
So now they have formed a relationship, a partnership where he is, I don't know the position title and all of that.
Part ownership, basically, right?
Well, not part ownership because they ain't. I don't think they're gonna go that far,
no, right?
But he's in a very important position that is over the creative part of the halftime.
Oh, okay.
All right, so there's a lot of backlash coming. So he didn't just see it in the news. He did a whole press release so that people could come ask their questions and all of that. So I haven't seen all the popular, like Charlemagne and all of them, that what they've said, but from what I hear, the Black folks is not really feeling that. They feel like it supports the NFL in what they have done in terms of Kaepernick still doesn't have a job.
So this is my first time hearing about this. I think that Jay-Z is entirely too intelligent to just go into something with an unforeseen notion. Like I feel like he's like, let me get my foot in the door.
Mhm.
I have the resources to be
Mhm.
sitting where they're sitting.
Thank you.
But I gotta kind of get my foot in the door and finagle, shake some hands, kiss some babies, and then, you know, make greater moves. I don't think that he would go in with the intention for just that role that you just expressed.
Heck no.
So if people can, you know, open their mind a little bit and think about the bigger picture, they'll probably understand what it is he's trying to accomplish and stop being so closed-minded.
So closed-minded, and to me, you know, might rub people the wrong way. It's a poor mentality.
It is.
It is. And when I say poor mentality is just like Jay-Z said, okay, we kneel and I support that and all of that. But what are we going to do now?
Right.
Because it's not making any change. And if we aren't in the positions to make change, other people are going to be out of jobs.
Yep.
You know, we're going to keep on kneeling and they're going to keep on talking about us. But you know what I said to my husband today? I said, the NFL has so much position and so much power within their organization. They would not come to Jay-Z to do this partnership if they didn't feel when he declined their offer and all that he, you know, he puts out there in support of Kaepernick and everything, all injustice.
Right.
If they didn't feel like he had that his positions has affected other people, other partnerships, whether, you know, bringing other artists, you know, for halftime, other artists for the Star Spangled Banner, and other partnerships, you know, or sponsorships or anything like that, they wouldn't have.
No, they know that he's a huge influencer. I mean, to millennials, people, you know, our age, like all different genres of people. So I think they're playing their card as well.
Yes.
And he's gonna, I feel like he's gonna outsmart them with this whole thing.
Well, happy birthday to Nipsey Hussle. You know, so speaking of that and playing the game, I was watching a video on him today where he said success is, I don't want to totally quote him, but basically success is not built for you. Basically, you got to work hard, you got to fight, you got to, you know, you got to push
it's not
through.
Built for us.
Exactly. And that's what he meant. And so you got to play the game. You got to not in the sense of you're playing games,
right?
But you have to be strategic.
Chess, like playing chess.
Playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
And that is the key point where sometimes now you don't want to be what we call Uncle Tom, or you're selling your soul, or you're everybody's clear you're doing something that is totally not you, for something ridiculous or something that doesn't lead to a bigger purpose. But we have to be in position to make change.
I agree.
And if we're not, only we can represent ourselves. Only we know our story.
Yep.
So anyway, so that is our little recap on what's going on in the news at this point in time. But I'm so excited to bring on our guest Needlz. We're going to switch this conversation to some real good quality. I cannot wait for you all to meet him, to talk to him. If you have questions in regards to autism and anything that you hear him talk about, just comment, and we will try to address as many questions as we can. Okay, you are listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
So with Nipsey Hussle, I had never heard of him until he died. The day that he died, I heard of him, and then I started like looking him up. I'm like, love him. Like, I was so disappointed in myself. Like, why didn't I know about him? Like his whole being, I feel like it's like a match to my soul. It sounds so crazy, but I feel like it's a match to my soul. Like when I would look at him and Lauren's videos, and I think they had a YouTube channel that they were starting, and some of the things she would complain about him, like he's always researching. Like that is like the story of my life. But I really like him. It's so disheartening, and he was doing so much in the community. And it's just so disheartening.
Exactly. That's congratulate. Hey, Annabelle. Hey, Mama J. Yes, what did you do about him?
just, whatever you
Okay. Yep. I'm
just want to
open.
do transition.
Okay.
Thank you, Auntie. That's what someone loves him. Oh,
Oh, okay, that's good because they were telling me they said no. So I had to pay somewhere up the block for $25.
they've never done that.
But the game, I think because if it was earlier, it probably would have worked out.
We at 7:30 already?
Yeah, 7:26.
No, that's perfect if we're at 7:30. Yeah. Are we at it? Jeez. Okay. No, that's perfect actually. Knowing about some millennials.
Go to 7:30. I listen. I'm like so out of the loop. I'm like, wait, but I'm gonna definitely people tell me it's like you're not happy like figure out what this man is doing. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Can you wait? I know, like, and then think about what he stands for, him and his wife. Like, if he declined the opportunity, first of all, he doesn't need money. So if he declined the opportunity to perform, do you think he would go into this for money? Exactly.
You gotta work hard in his life.
Exactly.
A girl at heart, a woman on the outside. Do you like me?
Love them. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting them.
How you come in the house?
Oh, he likes them?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
like, I'm gonna let you do one day.
You know, to like do the kids drink them? Then they like
What's the physician? Yes. Tommy just said this is hilarious. What the? Did you, while you're on there, did you share?
no.
Go to
Wait, he was going in.
Oh my goodness, you gotta watch the whole thing.
Okay, so it's this one. It's this one, right? Michael Amy Graham.
Oh my goodness, he knew every word too. He knew every word. We're waiting on our guest. We're waiting on our guest. It's Atlanta Braves game today. Traffic and parking. The show doesn't start at 7. I got here at 5:30. It's crazy. It's real about them dollars.
Here we go.
Call me crazy one more time. Laughing while he does it. He turns to me and he says,
Why so serious?
Boy, you so crazy.
this station is now the ultimate power in the universe. You ain't seen no sign of him being crazy, deranged.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. It is at 7:30 hours, so you know what time it is. What time is it?
7:30. Cray.
It's that 7:30 cray. Before I do the 7:30 crazy, my special guest, Needlz, is in the building. Needlz, say hey to the people.
What's up? How y'all doing?
So you don't know about the 7:30 crazy?
No.
So 7:30 crazy. 7:30 is an old police code when someone was out in the street.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm
That's
bugging.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that it's been adopted in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
When somebody in the relationship area
It's gone crazy.
is gone cray.
I
Okay,
got
so
you.
I'm going to read an article,
Okay.
then we'll decide if we think it's 7:30 crazy or not. So this is coming from Fox News. It says one Tesla owner is hoping she'll never lose her car key again. Amy Dansby recently had her Tesla Model 3's chip implanted in her forearm. The chip unlocks and starts the car. She's a software engineer, programmer, and self-described passionate technologist. Dansby uploaded a YouTube video on August 8th, which she is seen going into a body modification studio and having her car's RFID chip inserted in her arm. This is not Dansby's first implanted RFID chip, short for radio frequency identification. I was wondering what that stood for. She says, if I were to tap my hand to your phone, it would automatically open a browser and go to my web page. You're doing too much, okay? She posted on Twitter on Monday that her forearm was swollen following the modification. She said, I may have upgrades, but unfortunately, my body still heals at a human rate. All right, Needlz, is that 7:30 crazy or nah?
It's crazy now, but I hate to say it, it's about to be the future.
Oh my gosh.
It is. Like there's a lot of stuff that we thought was crazy back then. Like it was like we'll always have CDs. Like we're never gonna just
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now, I mean,
And
I bet you it's gonna be the norm.
My kids don't even know what a CD is.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
what is this? Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Walkman, right?
Hey,
Remember Walkman?
oh,
Yeah.
tell it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lydia, is it 7:30 cray?
You know I think it's 7:30 cray. Like that's crazy.
It's
That's crazy.
Okay, I have to agree. It's a little 7:30 cray for me because
Yes.
I can't imagine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right. So go ahead, just cut me right here, like I'm getting a C-section in my arm and plant it in there.
Is it? Is the battery gonna die?
Y'all gonna crack up. Y'all gonna crack up
When we're
in
doing
about
it?
Yeah.
in about 10 years.
I wouldn't
Watch.
subscribe to it.
Yeah, come back and watch this. Y'all gonna have all the
Okay. We'll be like,
chips for
oh
everything.
my goodness.
Open the refrigerator. Yeah. You
Turn
know.
off the lights.
Yeah.
Change the AC.
Chipping children.
I was gonna say, find out where your children are.
Yeah.
And cut down on kidnapping and stuff.
Hey,
You
man.
know what? You know what?
I'm telling y'all.
He might be on to something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like me and Lydia said it was 7:30 cray. Needlz is like, it sounds crazy, but
It's
we
the
probably
future.
going
It's
that
coming,
way.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the consensus. Okay, so listen, when we come back, we are getting into it. I'm so excited. I have been anticipating Needlz's appearance on the show for probably a couple weeks now.
Hey.
And like I said, it's gonna be good. Okay, you're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
Good. Okay. Yeah, just staying busy. That's the key. Can't complain. How long of a break do we have? Enough for me.
You know where it is?
Yeah, I saw it.
You look so pretty. Oh, you took it out my mouth. Yes, everything. Then the jewelry leg. Yes, because you are. What's your name? Faith. Nice to meet you, Faith. Lydia. Yes. Nice I know that's right. Hey, are you serious? Are you kidding me?
Right. Hit her up and say, right.
Listen, I love it. I keep refilling my cup like it's wine.
No, it's
I
have
drink.
my wine and I'll
Like for real.
and I have y'all glasses too.
Yes. He's like, of course I do. Like, yes.
Where y'all from?
I'm from New York, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
You sound like you're from up north. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that about West Virginia?
Yeah.
Is it about West Virginia?
West Virginia. I know it sounds like a shit.
Yeah. It's country.
You gonna play my song? I got you, Auntie. Hey, Tasha.
My phone is dead, of course, like dying, rather.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And if you are tuning in and you hear, this is my jam. This is me and my daughter's jam. This is me and Simpson's jam. She's like, Mommy, can you turn that up? So if you're listening to Ring by Cardi B featuring Kalani, okay, we have in the studio the producer of that song. Yes. Hey, Needlz.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Okay, guys, just so you know who we have in the building, we've got Grammy Award winning producer for, we're going to let him tell all of his accolades, but most recently, outside the ASCAP Award, the best rap album, correct?
Oh yeah, for
Yes,
Cardi B's album.
for Cardi B's
Yes.
album. And I
Yes.
know there's a lot of Cardi B fans out there. And y'all know, I've already done my cheers, but you know I always have to cheers my guest.
Word.
Cheers.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Cheers.
All
Okay. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, I'm Needlz. I'm a Grammy Award winning producer. I'm from Lansing, Michigan. I've produced for a little bit of everybody from people like 50 Cent to Bruno Mars to Drake to Cardi B to Jeremiah. I've been doing it for a while, so there's a lot of people I might forget, but yeah.
Oh, so when you say for a while, how long it's for a while?
About 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So now haven't been in the industry like you, but I've used to sing back in the day. I just sing for church now. I just sing for church. Okay.
Okay.
But so I
used to sing. You had a record deal.
Okay.
Let me find out.
Okay, but 18 years is a long time
Absolutely.
to maintain yourself in the career. So let's go back 18 years. How did you start your way in there?
Well, at that time I was in grad school.
Where did you go?
I went to NYU
Okay,
for grad
nice.
school.
All right now.
And I was, at the time there were maybe like 2 or 3 music business schools.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's like the hundreds and hundreds.
Right.
You know what I mean? But a part of my curriculum at NYU was to have an internship, and my internship was at Bad Boy. And he had like an arm of the company that just managed the producers. So it was like Stevie J and all these really, really dope cats. Like, don't sleep on Stevie. He's a genius.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I was interning, and the guy I was worked for, he looked at me. He was like, "Yo, I know you do something else besides interning. Like, what else do you do?" And I was like, "Well, I just started making beats." And he's like, "Yo, let me hear him." I played him some stuff, and he liked it, and he started to send my music off along with Stevie J and all the other hitmen, and that's kind of how I started getting placements. So they sent it off to Def Jam, and this lady named Philan Knight really just took me under her wing, and she started managing me, and from there is the rest is history,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, speaking of Bad Boy, so when I was signed to Worldwide Band Bad Boy, so you must know Kevin Wells.
Yes.
Hey, shout out.
What's up? Kevin, yeah.
So before that, did mom, dad, or whomever, were you in a room where they're like, turn that off, come eat, or were you doing anything like that? Or when did you know that this was your gift?
Well, I started out DJing when I was young. I grew up in Lansing, Michigan, the Midwest, and we always kind of had an appreciation for different types of music or whatever. Like, just being in the Midwest, we like Luke, and we like Scarface, and we like a lot of East Coast stuff. And that's one thing that I think is attributed to my sound over the years, is just having an appreciation for different parts of, different styles of music and stuff like that. But I started out as a DJ. I saw really my inspiration was this movie Juice.
Oh yes.
And I saw Juice, and the main character was dope. I just wanted to be like him. He was with the girl from En Vogue, and he was like the coolest dude. So after that, I was like, you know what? I told my father, I said, I want to start DJing, and he was like a big jazz and blues fan. Like, if you were to go in the basement, his basement is like thousands of records and like really top of the line equipment. But it was crazy. And, we played piano and played saxophone, but it really wasn't a thing until after that movie. And I kind of caught the bug. And he was like, look, if you get straight A's for a year or whatever, I'll buy you some equipment.
Nice.
So I did that. And I started DJing. I DJed proms and, sold my little mixtapes. I was hustling in high school. And I went to Florida A&M for my undergrad.
Okay.
I started there at least, and he wouldn't let me take my turntables on my first semester. He was like, "You got to get your grades."
Made you earn it.
Yeah, definitely. Both of my parents are educators, so he's like a superintendent, and my mother is, they're all like.
I love it. In Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
So I got my grades where they need to be, and they sent me my turntables, and it was just crazy. After that, I started winning DJ competitions and stuff like that. But I kind of started to lose interest in that particular curriculum. It was they have a really, really good school, business school at Florida A&M.
Okay, yeah.
But it was a lot of like, hey, you must shake hands like this. And you must do this. And
that kind of business.
Yeah, right. I was like, man.
But not the real business, basically.
Yeah, so I found a way to get out of that school and just finagle my way to New York, where I kind of transitioned from DJing to producing.
Now, you had a question?
No.
Okay. Now, what How do you go from Michigan?
Mhm.
Then you're at FAMU.
Mhm.
That's what we call it. And shout out to Spelman. I'm a HBCU person as well. And it's HBCU tonight at the
Word, I
Braves
heard,
game.
yeah.
To New York.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
it's so
first
big.
of all, yeah, New York was awesome. I mean, I went to FAM because I went on a little trip there, and the ratio was like 13 girls. To one guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going there.
You started out going for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Hey, it took them there.
Yep. And then New York for me was the mecca of music at the time. You know, this was East Coast was still popping, and it was the place to be in order. You know, I felt like I had to be there in order to be successful.
So when you were at FAM, you were DJing mostly up until then, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you went to New York, had you known at that point in time that you want to produce music?
Yeah, I kind of got, you know, I was a good DJ, like I had skills, but I wasn't a very like outgoing person. Cause like, you know, there's DJs that just DJ spinning records. Then there's DJs like, yo, get on this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't me.
You.
Yeah, it wasn't my personality. That combined with the fact that I had a small team, or like damn near a one-man team. So like we're carrying records and stuff like that. After a while, I just got old, and I kind of felt like I'm not gonna be able to support myself. It's not like DJing today. Like these cats are making millions of dollars.
Yes.
Back then, you know,
I was
$100. Yeah, $200. I was like, this is not what I want to do. I want to at least learn about music and be on the business side of music. That was my plan. So I sold my turntables and all my stuff, and it was just more of like a compact piece of equipment that I can use and travel with and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right. So you're in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and are you by yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Single?
Yes.
At that point in time? Okay.
Yes.
Were you living on campus, or were you?
Yes. Yep. I worked in the little mailroom for a little bit. And I was there, but I was hustling. Like I was, you know, class was at night. I just kind of fell in love with music too, like creating. And, you know, I would sell beats for shoes and barter and just do whatever I could, meet people, go to, you know, events, network and stuff like that. So
see, that to me tells me like DJ was a skill.
Absolutely.
Right? But this was your passion.
Yeah, it definitely became my passion. And it was just, you know, because you learn a lot about yourself if you're working on something, and, you know, from, you know, you're still a broke student. So you're like finding ways to find inspiration. You're finding the guy that's on Saturday sells the records for, you know, $2. So you get, you know, it's that type of hustle and just that fire. And then plus, like at the same time, I'm hearing all this music on the radio and all over the place. That's just like, yo, this is crazy. I love this. I want to be a part of it. And it I will say for me, it happened relatively quick. I know cats that produce for like years and years and years to get their first break. Like I just started maybe like a year and a half, but I think what helped me was my background in DJing. That really helps cats like Timberland was DJ. A lot of the
Gotcha.
It's just that knowledge of what people like kind of accelerated my kind of process.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Needlz talked about inspiration. So when we come back, we are going to talk some more about that inspiration. We're going to get into his 15-minute film called As Long As I Got You, and his inspiration behind that, what he's looking to bring awareness to behind that. I want you all to make sure that you stay tuned in, because we are really going to get into the crux of why he's here. Yes, we love to hear about the music industry and the profession and all of that, but we've got a greater purpose that we need to accomplish, okay? You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
And then you also got that recognition. I know, right?
At the same time, I was saying,
No, I said say that next time. God bless you.
Because even like I've been writing music for like 18 years. And I used to write music for like well-known people, but I didn't get anything for writing. They would just give me like $2,000 here, you know. And now I'd be like, so this still gonna play on the radio? Like, you know? Yeah.
There's so many.
Because you don't know it, you just want an opportunity. I mean, because I was young, you know, I was in my early 20s, and I just wanted an opportunity. And when I was getting recognized for all this, and they're like, yeah, so so-and-so in the studio, you know, they want you to write in the studio.
Yeah.
I could do that, you know. And I would do it, and they'd be like, all right, we'll give you, you know, not understanding royalties. Okay, yeah, right, with the business side of it. Right. And I didn't even involve my parents.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I didn't even involve my parents. I would tell my homegirls like, hey, listen, this is where I'm going. I don't know who's gonna be there, but I got a bed in my car. You know what I mean? Like, if you text me and I don't respond, like, this is where I am. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Nobody ever said that to me. Ever. Yeah, you know, nobody ever said that. I was just like, oh, it's like, and they would, even like when I would be home and I'd be writing stuff and they would know and I would have the track. And no, some people did know because I would have the track. Like email to me and then I would be writing to it and like, what do you think about this? How does this sound or whatever? And I would listen to it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. We have my beautiful guest co-host Lydia T in the building. Say hey to people. And we have my special guest today, Needlz, Grammy Award winning. Let me just make it clear.
Yes,
Needlz. Okay, so we've been getting into a little background of how Needlz started in the music industry, the transition from being a DJ into being a producer. And on the break, we were talking about the ups and downs and the little in-betweens of being in the music industry. And I would say you got to have some backbone. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ups and downs, and it's just kind of got to stay even keel because, you know, it can drive you crazy, especially with when you're starting out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, man, I'm doing all this work and
nothing.
Nobody even knows who I am, and nobody, you know what I mean? And just having the faith that something's gonna happen is a big part of it.
Yes.
For sure.
What was the first pop off for you, and what was your reaction?
Well, for me, I guess one of my favorite moments of my career was just like being in Harlem, walking down the street and hearing my song, like somebody blasting one of my songs.
Wow.
Like, yo, it was like 2 a.m. or something. I was walking and just Jeep just drove by like blasting it. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, yo, it was a moment. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. But that was big for me. You know, I guess I was around when 50 was like huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I did this record called Piggy Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this diss record, and it was, you know, it was a big deal at the time, and I thought I was gonna get shot.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, I made this record, and
right.
and he's like dissing the people that I wanted to work with Nas and 50's dissing them, and but yeah, so that was like, you know, all their stuff back then was going at least 5-6 times platinum. So
right.
I did a lot of work with them, Young Buck, Game, Lloyd Banks, all of them. That was like my real early kind of claim to fame.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of all those names that we know. Y'all should know. Y'all should know this as well. It's the 46th anniversary of hip hop. So who put the year on it? It was who was the,
Right.
Who was the first, like, this is the start of hip hop?
That's interesting. I would be curious to see who that would be.
Right. I'm
because
like, who said it's 46 years?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because I mean, it's a relatively new genre if you think about it, but you know, hip hop has been around in certain ways.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
R&B, you know, back then they was scat or do something, a rhyme or
Right.
something like that. So I'm curious to see, you know, what song was
What was it?
What
Right.
was the song? But nevertheless, I think that, you know, as a culture or as a genre, we've done a lot financially. You know what I mean? Like we've made millions of dollars for a lot of other people.
Right.
But I feel like there's a lot of growth, hopefully in store in the future. Like I feel like right now we're the number one
Yes.
selling or most attractive genre right now.
Exactly.
And we have this platform, which is such a great platform, but we're not really saying anything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? In our music. So it's just like,
Mhm.
you know, I would hope going forward we would, you know, take the time to think about that. Like this is the only genre right now or time in Black music where we're not speaking to what's going on in real life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's just this big made up facade on whatever, you know, somebody's watch or some random stupid
just
stuff.
randomness.
Yeah, it's I'm not too happy about that. And I don't like that, you know, if I was an alien came to Earth and
Right.
listened to the radio,
Right.
I would think all Black young kids are just
Oh.
materialistic.
Right.
They don't care about women. They don't. I mean, and then the same thing with the
Respect.
women. The women don't even respect themselves if you're just judging it based
Listen.
off the music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you go back, you know, 20, 30 years, you had, you know, artists, you know, James Brown, you had other cats that really
Yeah,
talked about what was
talking
going on. Yeah.
Right. Talking about what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
So they might have, you know, the love of a woman, you know,
Mhm.
things like that, but they also were able to present music to us that talk to us as a community,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and what's going on in our society.
Right.
Yeah, it's I mean, if you think about, I mean, if you listen to the music, you would think everything is all good and it's a party. And,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah,
You seem very passionate about meaningful music.
absolutely.
You know, maybe that can be a special project for yourself. Like, would you be interested in resetting the bar on
Yeah.
what music should look and sound like with artists that you're going to be working with in the future?
Absolutely. I think that's a big part of what I do. I think a lot of labels actually come to me to work with their new artists and develop like their kind of like trajectory, like starting out. So yeah, I'm not gonna really like give up on what I think is good music.
Right.
You know, just because, you know, whatever is in right now, you know, I still think we can make a love song.
Absolutely.
We can use instruments. You can sing or run without, you know what I mean? You can run, you
But
can
not the whole song.
Right.
Yeah. Not the whole song, but it's just, you know, there's things that we've done or something has happened in music right now. And I work with artists that I was like, yo, don't add too much music. That's not cool. That's old school.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
I don't want to sing. I don't want to sing this run because that makes me sound old. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
And
okay,
it's
okay.
it's
I
an
got you.
interesting time.
Wow. Okay. So listen, when we come back, we are going to get into some conversation with Needlz as the family man. He is an awesome dad, and I've only just met him, and you know, but I get this, the spidey senses is telling me. Okay. So we're going to get into some conversation on balancing his professional life with his personal life. In particular, we're going to talk about his precious, beautiful Michaela. All right. So you're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, I was getting that music. I was like, is it? Wrap it up. Yeah, I did. I was trying to. I heard the music.
Right.
I was like, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know how I'm supposed to drive home now, Sam. You hear me, Faith? I'm gonna have to live. I know. I have to live. Okay.
Hey.
I want to out on myself. You don't need nobody else. I want to out on myself, I swear. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm selfish.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. I have my beautiful guest co-host here, Lydia T.
Hello.
She over there sipping on something. She just sipping on some sparkling water.
Why you not
I'm selling.
I need to take a lift.
And we have our special guest in the building, Grammy award winning, and et cetera, and so much more than that. Just that, Mr. Needlz in the building.
Yes, Needlz in the building.
So we have been having a really in-depth conversation because I know a lot of people want to be in the music industry, whether it's as a singer, an artist, a rapper, producer, writer. And we wanted to make sure that we gave them a little information, a little background on it. But I want to get into the family man, the Needlz family man.
Yeah.
Tell me about your family.
What
does it consist? Who does it consist of?
3 beautiful kids, a dog.
Hey, we love our dog,
and
right?
my beautiful wife, Manana. We live here in Atlanta. We started obviously our family in New York, New Jersey. And even that, just coming down from New York to Atlanta.
When was that?
That was 2007-ish.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think it was around. Yeah, it's been here for a minute. I remember that was a rough period though. Like we were moving down here.
The economy crashed around that time.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, and basically my wife had a boutique. She's in fashion. She had a boutique where she loved, and we all put a lot of elbow grease in. And she, I kind of made her move to Atlanta because things started drying up in New York. Like the music had changed.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so, but I just remember driving, we got all our luggage or all our stuff in the car driving to Atlanta, and as we're driving down, the mortgage broker, who ended up being a fraud, saying that your house fell.
Right about that time.
Around that time, right?
Yeah.
Said that your house fell through.
Of course.
And so it was tough. It was a tough period of time. We were broke and driving down Atlanta. We had to pass Atlanta. We passed Atlanta and went to Jacksonville and stayed with her. But I mean, I'm going off on a sad story. It ended up being
we like to hear the background.
Yeah, but it was a little bit of struggle. It was definitely a transition, and I think after a while we got our footing. And my first record down here was that Drake record you played, Drake, Wayne, and Jeezy, and that kind of really got us back on track. But yeah, my family is they're a big part of my life. I definitely balance it as much as I can. I feel like more so than most people, I would say. You know what I mean? I always have my studio either in the house or close by. I want to be there for, put my kids to sleep. Yes. I want to be there in the morning.
That's important.
You know what I mean? I want to come home at a decent hour. I'm trying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. But there's definitely.
Wait, hold on 1 second. We can't skip past that. Hold on 1 second. Gotta give you one of these, brother. Gotta give you one of these.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Word.
All the husbands play close attention.
Okay, all the husbands, all the dads. We want to make sure. I know I'm a very strong advocate for leading men.
Yeah.
Whether your husband, you don't have to be married, but if your husband, definitely, leading dads, just especially with daughters.
Yeah. So much of, our kids and just even, us, it's about how we were brought up, what we see. I think that's so important. And I realized that I was raised in, my parents were great. They were together, and kind of what you see is kind of how you end up living your life. So
sure, it can be.
So yeah, so it's not like things are always easy. Marriage is a journey, and I think overall though, you want to make sure you're providing for your kids,
absolutely,
and that they feel safe and loved and supported.
So I was watching your film, As Long as I Got You.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was, speaking of mom and dad,
Mm-hmm.
there was a moment in there that you talked about in your music, where you had a great memory. I want you to share that with your dad.
Oh yeah.
And about your dad, and what did you take away from him when you're being a husband and you're being a dad?
Yeah, my father is great. Both of my parents are just beautiful human beings. But I think that particular moment, my father, I think it was one of the first times, like I mentioned before, he was jazz head, blues, all time. He was a guy that go record shopping, and he would always kind of take me. And this particular day, I was young. I don't know how, maybe 6 or 7 or whatever. And I got a chance to sit in the front seat, which is a big deal.
Oh,
Coming from the back seat to the front seat was like this magical moment.
Right.
And I just remember looking at him and then listening to the song on the radio. It was this Michael McDonald song called Why the Fools Fall in Love. It's so random. You know what I mean? But I almost, really remember that day because like we went record shopping, and he took me to this record store. And, when you're young, you just kind of like seeing what gravitates to you. So this vinyl back then. So they had this, you look at the record covers and stuff, and I saw this one with graffiti, and I was like, can we play that one? And the guy put it on, and it was like More Bounce to the Ounce. And it was just, I just, those moments, are very powerful, and kids remember that. And, the more moments you can make for your kids, the better. So, yeah, that just, I didn't get into this part of my life from earlier, but when I was in college, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
And so I went through chemotherapy.
Now this was in college?
Yeah, this was like my last year, as I'm about to go, like the year before I went to New York.
Okay.
So I had radiation, chemotherapy. That's actually how I got my name. Is everybody thinks it's like Needlz from, but it was like I was trying to send the CD off, and I didn't have a cool name, and I looked down during chemotherapy. I had needles in my arm. So that's so that's how I got my name. But but I just think going through that, I kind of lost a lot of memory. Like it kind of zapped my brain, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So but a majority of my memories are kind of built through music. You know what I mean? So like if you hear, that's why music is so powerful.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like if I hear a song, I know exactly where I was at that time. So that was one. That's why that song, which is corny, it's a corny song to people, but to me, I love that song because
it's attached to something special.
Yeah, it just and those are the moments that I want to create for a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you mentioned that in the film that. The music, the creation of music brings back those vivid memories, and you want to create it for, other artists. But I noticed that you said you don't get as many of those as much. Why is that? Explain that.
Well, music to me, I think plays a different purpose. Like I think back then, although a lot of people take pride, I think back then there was a lot of people weren't scared to do the same thing. It wasn't one sound. It was like, oh, you had, even for hip hop, you had Tribe, then you had Jay-Z, then you had Scarf. You had all these different things, you know what I mean? And that kind of made stuff stand out. Like nowadays, I just don't get I don't get people like, I don't feel it like that. You know what I mean? I don't feel that they're putting their love and their, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm
It almost feels, they just feel like they're just trying to get some money.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they're not really adding to the culture.
Yeah.
Which I think that's, because when we die, I want my music to live a lot longer than me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, some money will come and go.
So as artists, we a lot of times thrive on that energy, on
Yeah.
we're working with someone. So how do you create if you're not being fed?
That's really tough. I definitely, it's honestly, it's been a little bit of a challenge, because you really have to seek out inspiration. But I try not to just bombard myself with the same song all the time. So
Okay.
I don't listen to the radio that much.
Okay.
I mean, when I hear a new song or what's hot or whatever, I can, since I've been doing it so long, I can figure out, okay, this is why this is hot. I get it. I get this. I get the voice. I get this melody.
Right.
I understand that 808 is hard. I got it. It doesn't take me to hear that song 100 times
Sure.
to get it. You know what I mean? So like I'm listening to like NPR and,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even listen to music.
Right.
You know what I mean? Outside of, when I'm in the studio, I try to surround myself with cool people that, bring good energy and that are talented. And I think subconsciously, we're kind of pulling from the past a lot.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
really pulling, and then just trying to, and then with that knowledge, knowing how to bring it forward.
Mhm.
And it's like this thing. It's like a formula in my head, I guess, that just seems to work. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So what do you, if you're working with someone and you're not getting
Feeling
it, yeah, what's your strategy?
Right.
I mean, I just honestly, once again, the labels come to me for something different. They come to me for bigger records than, a song about a watch or a song about a car.
Okay.
I just challenge people, honestly. I challenge the people in the room to make a bigger song.
Right.
Like, we're not about to make a song. I'm like, my releases nowadays, they're not like every month. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
But when they do come out, they're like smashes. Just
Right.
because it's like you have to be different and stand out. And those that take the chance and stand out, that's when you get a hit record.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I know you were talking about that when we were preparing for the show. We do our little research.
Right.
And tell them about some of the things where you were wondering, like, okay, well, what was happening during this period of time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did mention that when I was looking at some of your hits.
Mhm.
There's plenty of them.
Plenty.
I noticed that they were very timed out, so
Mhm.
it's not like they were consistent.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
So in between that time, like, what were you doing?
Absolutely. So I develop artists. That's my thing. Like, instead of developing artists for labels, I take on these passion projects with people that I think are really talented. And sometimes I get so immersed in trying to do something that's just that I feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I kind of stopped doing the other stuff that I have to do to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I can make music. I can consistently crank stuff out, but I really feel, especially for like longevity and just business wise, developing artists is so crucial to a producer. So the last artist I developed is a girl from Amsterdam. Her name is Nicole Buss.
Yes.
She has a song called You. And
Yes.
we did her whole project here in Atlanta. Did all the songs here.
Nice.
And I'm excited about that project because that's something that's a representation of what I think good music would be.
So how did that discovery come with Nicole? How did
I find her?
Yes.
There's an international conference that I go to every year, which kind of just gets me away from the same old thing, It's called New School Rules, and there's like an exchange program, and I was kind of one of the judges per se, and I saw her, and I just thought she had an amazing voice. I mean, some things are God sent. Like you can't, like, her voice is just very unique.
It is,
and it's very nostalgic.
And it's kind of raspy a little bit.
Yeah, you can feel it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Ultimately, I want stuff that I can feel. Like, I'm kind of tired of McDonald's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need something to stick to my ribs type
Right.
music. So, yeah, that was fun working on her project, and we put a lot of time. I remember that single "You" that's out, which did good. Mixing it like 30 times.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? Because this is her first single, and it's going to represent her, but it's representing us and representing a change or something different.
Right.
Because the kids, I feel like the kids coming up, they need to know that there's choices.
Right.
Because if we keep making the same song,
Right.
then,
And it sounds like you're focused more so on quality.
Yes, that's exactly it. Quality over quantity. Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay, so when we come back, I want to get into talking about one of his daughters, one of three, Michaela in particular. So I want you all to make sure that you have shared our live stream and hashtag Michaela Fighting Autism. We are going to get into that conversation. We want to know a little bit more about that, how she's doing, how dad is doing, you know, with mom, sister, siblings as well. We're going to get into that, and we're going to talk about his event that's coming up in September. So I want you all to get ready to go to the website so you can register, because we need to come out and support, okay? You are listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
I love NPR.
Oh yeah. It's
You don't listen to this. What is ET? The Success?
What's that?
No, Eric Thomas. He has one.
It's just calming.
A podcast. Oh yeah, it's good. Oh no, not on NPR. NPR is its own.
Yes, please. I don't want to say it on air. Like.
I think ET's been
Eric.
The Secret to Success. Yeah, Eric Thomas.
Oh, that's it. I've never met him, but I've heard about him.
Yeah.
He's a producer, right?
No, he's a motivational speaker. He's from Lansing. He's older. Yeah. Yeah, he's probably well, let me not say older. He's probably like a little older than us, like 48-ish. Yeah. Eric Thomas. Yeah. Oh, okay. He's from Lansing. Come on, man. Yes. The hip hop
That
preacher.
dude's from Lansing?
Yes, the hip hop preacher. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Michigan
Hey,
State.
guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
Crazy.
Look, now that we put his name in the atmosphere, watch how much you start seeing and hearing about him.
I always see the guy, and I'm like
Yeah.
hyped when I see him. I didn't know he's from the crib.
Yeah, yep. He's from Lansing. His podcast has been rolling, but NPR is one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
We can't hear you. Okay.
Hey.
Yes.
You got me wanting to go dance.
Okay, yes. All right, or
That man
something.
is fine, very fine, yeah. So fine, that's why he's mine, yeah. Real cute, like a reserva. So smooth, like a power.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. I got my lovely co-host, guest co-host Lydia T.
Hello there.
I can't take you in your sparkling water. And I have my special guest in the building, Needlz. Say hey to the people.
Hey,
Needlz.
what's up?
Okay, so we have transitioned into the second hour. Didn't even realize it. Just in some great conversations, some great background about you, Needlz, and all that you've been doing, and the experiences, the highs, the lows, the in between, and all of that. And we began talking about the family man, and I want to continue on to that. Just starting off from your dad.
Mm-hmm.
You had an awesome dad that we have heard.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And do you take your experience from your father? Is that the fuel behind why you are committed to being a family man?
I think so, because that's all I know. I mean, that's what I think men and fathers are supposed to do, because that's what he did.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of times, and there's a lot of other great families in Michigan and Lansing in particular that really kind of stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's all I know. So like my father we would travel, and I'm doing the same for our kids. We drive, we get in the car. Like we drove from Atlanta to Toronto.
Yes.
Wow.
And back. And then this past summer, we flew to San Francisco and drove down the coast. You know what I mean? Like I want them to see this stuff, see the world. Because they just have to see it, and they'll just, right now I don't know if it hits them, but I feel
later it will.
Later it will,
For sure. And I think now this is an era where everybody want everything so quickly. Instead, like you said, driving, that is great quality time.
Absolutely.
The kids at some point gonna go to sleep. You and your wife can talk.
Absolutely.
You know, then you can have that conversation with the kids instead of hopping on a plane. It's really easy to just say, let's get on a plane and go here. We'll save time. But to have that valuable time like that is imperative.
Yeah, and we'll stop, you know, I mean, we went from Atlanta to Asheville to which is really beautiful. Asheville to like, I don't know, we just stopped everywhere. We went to DC, we went to New York, you know, we spend 3 days at a time and just really try to get them just kind of immersed in the culture of different places. There's much more out there than Atlanta.
I love it.
I mean?
I love it.
Yeah.
So you have 3 beautiful daughters. What are their ages?
No, I have 2. I have 2 daughters, and my youngest is boy. His name is Nasir. So my oldest is Amani. She's 15.
Okay.
And Michaela is 11.
Okay.
And my son, once again, Nasir, he keeps calling me because his birthday is coming up. He wants a costume party.
And how old is he?
He's going to be 9.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's in 3rd
And you
grade.
got to give it to him because you can give them the doggone moon and stars. But if it's not
what it is that they're interested in,
they'll be like, thank you for the moon and stars.
Yeah.
So where is the butt?
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's you know, my middle child, Michaela, she's autistic. Actually, she has a rare chromosome disorder called Phelan-McDermott syndrome, and where she's missing a part of her chromosome. So the result of that is she doesn't speak much.
Okay.
She has like a few words. She doesn't speak much, but for us,
speak with her words.
Yeah, she doesn't speak with her words, but I think it's
she's so vibrant.
It's so funny because she loves music. I mean, she just will jump up and down, and it's been a journey. You know, she got diagnosed when she was 2 or like 1.5.
Oh, so early on.
Yeah, early. Yeah, we had her in a daycare, and they just, you know, they said, well, she's not responding, or she's not, and you know, it's devastating for us.
Right.
Sure.
You know, we it was at this fancy schmancy daycare.
Okay.
And we just thought they were just being a little
right. Uppity.
Yeah. It really is.
Right.
You know what I mean? I thought it was that. But then
sometimes it can be that way.
Yeah.
So I can get it.
Yeah. So but then I was just like, so, you know, we found out early. We had to get genetics testing and found out that's what was going on, and there was nothing we could have done. It wasn't a vaccine at the time. It was just something that happened at conception. And
I was gonna ask that about the vaccine.
Yeah.
Did you guys see like a transition, or was it always that way from birth? Because, you know, babies have stages. So, you know, they're crawling, they're holding a bottle, they're sitting up, they're saying words. So, like, did you see like a transition, or did you guys kind of feel that?
Yeah. Well, when she was born, well, I just remember, you know, because I was there for the delivery. I remember her umbilical cord wrapped around her ankle like really, really tight. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. But she seemed normal until maybe 8 months and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just noticed that when I would give her a bath, she wouldn't get out the tub, like when she was like 1.5, 2, whatever.
Okay.
She wouldn't get out the tub. Like I would say, come on, get out the tub, like, you know, and she wouldn't respond. It's almost like she didn't hear me talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I randomly went on YouTube and typed something in, and I saw like the same thing, like just not responding or an eye contact. It was really the first kind of thing. And we were devastated, you know.
Did that come before or after the school?
This was like kind of like right around the same time. We're just like, it was pretty devastating. But we had a friend who also had an autistic child, and he kind of he was really, really organized and really kind of walked us through this, because I didn't, you know, you don't know until, you know, I was like, is she gonna know I'm her dad? And like, you know, all this stuff, like, you know, but so excuse me, it's been a journey on getting the right care for her.
Right.
Because the school district could only do so much. The program, especially early on, they can do so much. And they've gotten better since, she was born. But that's always been this whole fight with us where we have to, we're trying to fight this. We're trying to beat this thing. She's going to talk one day. She's going to do this. And so we're like, we've gone a route where we were paying $6,000 a month for therapy and therapists and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't know if I can make that many beats to keep this up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, we have to find another way, and we try to go through the school district to do it. And it's just been like literally a fight.
Yeah.
It's a fight, but we also realize that it's a marathon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nothing's gonna happen overnight. It's gonna be a lot of small battles. And I think for us as a family, we get so excited about the little things,
right?
It's like the little things, like, oh my gosh, she put her shoes on the right foot. You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that. Like it's just the small things that just, I mean, she's still a human. She's still, she's still a little girl. She's still a kid. You know what I mean? She wants to do a lot of the same things, and but she's getting older too.
Right.
She's about to get on a period.
Right. Yeah. Yo, it's a whole nother level of things.
It's a lot of stuff. But between my wife and I, luckily I got her, and luckily, you know what I mean? Like you have somebody to go through life with to tackle these things.
Right. So, I love that you say that, with you and your wife going through it. I'm married as well, and so is Lydia. And I know with my husband, if we go through challenging moments, it makes us stronger because we're holding hands and we're going through it together rather than combating, each other through it. Yeah. Where we're recognizing that we're both hurting, or we both are struggling, or we're both fighting, or whatever, but we're not trying to do it to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I just couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. I know it's just, shout out to just single parents.
Yeah.
Period.
Sure.
I mean, God bless y'all, because
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is.
It's really a lot. And so I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for our relationship, how we've, and another thing about our relationship is, like, my wife is not like I make a pretty good money where she doesn't have to work.
Sure.
Right.
But she's not that type of woman. She's like, man, I'm out of here.
I'm
getting it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's like,
it's like icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, so it really calls into play a balance. Like, okay, let me fall back from this so my wife can go.
Right. Right.
Go do her
That's
thing.
very noble of you as a husband.
Yeah. And it's just like this, your turn.
Right.
And everybody can kind of, like, as a family can, like, we're all like this unit. Like, even my daughter, she's a really good actress, and she could be bigger, and my son could be doing a little bit better in math. Sure. And everybody can, but we're all stretching and
so you're a unit, but you're
unit.
Still individuals.
Absolutely.
And doing things. So let me ask you, do you have any sensitivities around what your daughter's going through, or how people observe her or categorize her?
When you see her, she has short hair.
Right.
Because
she looks exactly like you.
Okay.
She has short hair. She actually looks like her grandmother.
Oh.
A lot, identical. But she has short hair, so, and a lot of times people are like, is that a boy or a girl?
Okay.
So we get that, and then it's like, then people are like, why is she walking like that?
Okay.
So we feel the eyes and seeing, but at this point, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. Yeah.
So I like to share something. I have a son, TJ. He's 11, and my daughter, if I don't say her name, she's gonna have a heart attack.
She's like mommy.
And the daughter, Milan, she's gonna be 8 in September. And my son has type 1 diabetes, so he's special needs. So our normal, my husband and I, looks a lot different than everybody else's. Yeah. And I think just as a culture, a lot of people are not informed on what type 1 diabetes is, and they refer to or defer to type 2. It's completely different. So with having that, like, I'm a family of 4, you're a family of 5, she's a family of 4. Each of our homes, what is normal to us is completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just, we have to prepare to
Yep.
go to
Yeah.
to dinner. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's
See,
an
the
iPad
same way I
charge,
do,
you know what I mean?
not in the same way that I do, but I have to do that as well.
Yeah.
But Syndy doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so
But she'll have another struggle.
Right.
Like, and that's just one consistent thing that everybody's
With
going
family.
through with
Right.
family and stuff. But then all the rappers talking about is they change.
Oh, I
right,
can't
exactly.
take it.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's just one dimensional. It's
Yes.
not focused on all the other aspects
Yeah.
of the person.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You can't just look in. You can't assume
Yeah.
when you look at other people. You can't judge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People think we got it so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a
and I
struggle.
always I remember some years ago, someone telling me, thinking about his friend and all that he thought the friend had going on, and he felt like he was a good person. Why is this, that, and the other? And I was like, you don't know what they got going on behind
Exactly.
closed doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't want to have someone else's life,
Absolutely.
you know?
You don't know
Yeah.
what that
Because you
entails.
don't know. They don't,
the
they-
reality of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They may not want to have you all up in their business,
Yeah.
you know, but you never know, and you never want to, compare. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Michaela. We're going to talk a little bit more about the event that's coming up in September, on
Yes.
September 7th, Art Speaks.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that, and I want you all to get ready on your internet because we're going to register. I know I'm going to be there, and I know that's Milan's birthday.
It is.
You know, I got on my calendar, and we're going to be there. And
Yes,
you know
we'll be
that
there.
because I'll be in trouble. Okay, but we are definitely going to support, and I want all my girls, ISO, Rachel, Brianna, Destiny, all of y'all, we're going to show up and
Absolutely.
support. Okay, but we're going to talk about it a little bit more when we come back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
So what I was going to ask is, so like my son is listening, and when it's addressed that way, I'm okay with it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not ideal,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
My husband,
It's hard for men. He doesn't accept it.
no.
Yeah. It's harder for men to accept it. That's kind of like that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You know. For us it was I kind of found out first. I was the one that was really on it. And then I fell back and she on it. But yeah, that's
Yeah. Do you find yourself doing or did you find yourself doing independent research? Because
Yeah.
I would be researching for.
Yeah.
It's been it's ongoing. It's been years.
Once again, it's a marathon. It's really about what part of town do you live?
Tequila.
Okay, with my brother up there. They have pretty good schools up there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
So we don't have to pay for private school because
Yeah.
the schools are phenomenal.
Good. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, really for us, it's just leaning on the school district and really making them accountable, holding them accountable for your son have,
Do you know what type 1 is?
I don't. I'm not.
Okay,
Really
so type 1 diabetes.
Really?
Yes, he has it. Yes, he does. Yeah. So what our bodies, when we eat, our pancreas turns it into energy or sugar, or produces insulin naturally. His pancreas doesn't function. So if he wants to drink this cup of juice, he needs to use insulin. If 5 minutes later he want a piece of cake, he got to get another needle. So on a day-to-day, he would literally have 11 to 15 needles a day. Yeah, so he would ask questions because he got diagnosed when he was 3 and he's 11 now. He'll be 12, and he would ask questions like, when am I going to go back to being normal? And I was staring with Syndy yesterday, that birthday parties and having a conversation with him before you get to the birthday party, okay, so you can't eat the candy, and then get into the birthday candy and it's 20 other kids, so right. No, I agree with that too. But just anything. Yes, anything, because the body doesn't naturally produce insulin. So anything he would put. So can you think about, you have 3 children. How they eat breakfast, right? Sometimes they eat it without you. We would have to get up on a Saturday, make his breakfast, calculate it, give him insulin. And then guess what? Sometimes 30 minutes later, I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. You're not really hungry, okay? But they may want something. When he was getting his insulin shots because now he's on a pod. We would have to kind of explain to him like, okay, so you gotta kind of wait like 2 to 4 hours because the insulin has to work for what you've already eaten. But can you imagine trying to explain it to a 3-year-old? Like, and they have other siblings that can eat freely. Right, yeah. So
I mean, is there, I mean, I know you is there nothing to do about the pancreas?
they're trying to do a transplant, a pancreas transplant.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh, I love this.
Oh, you about to make me cry. Like I said, I'm gonna cry today.
I'm not. I did very good.
Listen, if one of y'all start, it's over for me. Okay. Welcome back. You're listening to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And you all know I go live as well, so we can communicate during breaks. And so if I don't know if you all got a chance to listen to that our commercial break conversation, but we were talking all things health, diabetes 1, 2, and all of that in between. But I want to get back into our conversation with Needlz. You have an event coming up Saturday, September 7th called Art Speaks. Tell us what that's all about.
Yes, so it's an event at our house in Atlanta, Georgia. We live basically in Midtown.
Okay.
We purchased this piece of land back in like 2015 and did a little bit of research and found out that it was old slave land, slave quarters. So
okay,
we built a plantation style house on top of that land. And the event is really to kind of like, for me personally, is to celebrate the house. I mean, we put a lot of, we had to fight with the neighbors, you had to fight with the city, and all this kind of stuff. But it's partly about that, but it's mainly about bringing awareness and raising money for Autism Speaks.
Okay.
So basically, Michaela's diagnosis is the Phelan-McDermott syndrome, but you would label her as an autistic child, basically.
Right. So I want to ask you that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always considered under that umbrella, was it?
Not necessarily. Just the treatments and the therapies that she would get are consistent with the child that's autistic.
Got it.
So it's like speech therapy, physical therapy,
now how new is
therapy. This has been around for a while. I mean, it's just very rare.
Right.
It's like a genetic disease like Down syndrome. So we're having an event at our house. We're selling art. I mean, we have some really talented artists displaying their work. We have.
I heard you're DJing.
Yes.
Hey.
I'm DJing. I'm a DJ for a little bit. My daughter's DJing.
Oh, nice.
15-year-old DJ Glitz.
Oh, nice. DJ Glitz.
Yeah,
hey, girl.
Yeah,
look her for your sweet 16.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So then and then it's gonna be. We have a great chef. We have live music. I have a couple of the artists that I'm working with perform.
I love it.
And
yes.
It's just gonna be a good event, just to kind of first and foremost, raise awareness for autism and Autism Speaks, and then also during that event, we're gonna have a trailer or show a trailer for the short film that we have coming out.
And I'm gonna be in tears.
I know. So I have a question for you, because I'm all about raising money for different types of awareness. And I'll definitely include you guys in my benevolence. But are you guys 501c3?
Not yet. Well, Autism Speaks is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
they can donate to that.
Yeah,
as well.
We're gonna donate. I mean, we have, they have teams, basically.
Right.
Autism Speaks has a walk every year where you raise money and stuff like that. So the name of our team is Michaela Fighting Autism.
Okay.
So it's going to be under that.
Okay.
Got it.
Are you going to give us some information so that we can donate?
Absolutely.
So where can my people
you guys
invited?
Need to come.
We're going to be there.
No,
we're coming and we're donating.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Tell my peoples that's listening.
Yes.
Because we got a lot of folks that be listening. Where can they register?
Autismspeaks.com.
.org.
.org. And our specific thing, it's Michaela. Yeah, you got me.
I got them.
Right,
okay. I got them. So RSVP2. Y'all ready?
Yes.
art, sorry, no S, artspeaks@gmail.com.
Yes.
Oh, 2019.
Yeah,
that ain't what they gave me. Okay. Okay.
We will be there.
All right. Faith come through in the clutch. Okay. Artspeaks2019@gmail.com. And you can also, it might be on, is on your website, dryrainent.com. It might not be, but I am going to post it tomorrow. You all know I always do my recap the next day. I will have all of that very clarified for you, where you can register. Y'all know, all my people, you know, I expect you to show up.
Hello.
I expect my people to show up. And we do. We
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah.
And we're
drop
going to
some
support.
coins.
I was going to say, not just show up, we support.
Yes.
So my people, we're going to come through. We're going to register. You're going to see this. Just if you see the influx, it's us.
Right? Yeah, that's what's up. We
Okay.
I'll say it again. I'm sorry, Faith.
15% of each piece of art sold.
15%. So we come in to spend coins.
Yes.
15% of all art that is purchased that evening on September 7th. When you RSVP, you will get the address because I'm not going to put it out there right now. I need you to RSVP and let us know that you're going to be there. Goes to autismspeaks.org. Okay. And make sure you reference hashtag. I'm going to put all this out there. Don't you worry. Hashtag Michaela Fighting Autism so that we can track all the support that she got going on. Okay. So with that, I want to go back to what you were talking about when Michaela first got diagnosed or noticed anything. When we were talking, when your son was diagnosed, you knew right then the life-changing experience. Dad didn't know.
Yeah, because I started busting out
Dad was
crying.
like, what you crying
He was like, what you
about?
crying for? And I was like, oh, Lord.
Did you know what you were walking into?
I remember the moment where after we got the diagnosis back, and I just remember the moment my wife and I looked at each other and just started crying. You don't really know what to expect. I think now we've been living this life for a while now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the norm. However, we kind of realize that she's going to be with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we want her to eventually be as independent as she can.
Sure. Right.
So yeah, we definitely, you definitely have that moment and stuff, but once again, it's just like, you don't have a choice. You just have to react and make sure your daughter's the best.
You mentioned in your film a very real moment as a parent, very transparent that I don't know if a lot of people would admit necessarily, but you said when it came to brushing teeth.
Oh yeah.
And you said, that you brush your teeth, and not necessarily that she couldn't necessarily do it, but you just want to get through it.
Well, in her case, she can't brush her teeth.
Okay.
So, we wake up, she normally wakes up around 5:30 every morning.
Lord.
Yeah.
It's early bird.
Yes.
It's legit. So she wakes up early, and so she doesn't, we help her brush her teeth.
Okay.
But in order to brush her teeth, you have to sing the ABC song.
Right.
So you sing the ABC song, and then she runs off, and you chase her down, brush a couple more teeth. It's a real it's like the mornings in our house is crazy, and don't let her
chaos like my house.
It's chaos, and don't let her find an iPhone and play some Beyonce.
Oh
yes,
all
around. Yeah, she's just all around the place. So I think in reference to what you were saying, well, in the film, there's occupational therapy where you're supposed to prep her, and they have brushes to brush to get her, her sensory issues, and all those different things to get her ready for somebody to just stick a toothbrush in her mouth. So, but look, I was saying in the film, I was like, man, I ain't had time. We're trying to get ready. I had time to brush and all that stuff. So, but if we're going to do that, we need help. We need therapy. We need training for us as parents on how to best go about
care
this.
for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had to get training too.
Absolutely.
On how to care for him and administer insulin. So I have a nursing background, so it was nothing for me. But my husband, he was just so confused.
Yeah.
So even for babysitting, we can't leave him with anybody unless they are certified to administer insulin.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we live
parallel lives.
because it's that sense of I don't know. Oh, it's that sense of my bad. It's that sense of being prepared and like just knowing that you have some limitations, but you have to be kind of prepared for it, you know. So yeah.
Do you think about, so she's 11?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about that time, you know, when she gets of age,
Mm-hmm.
you know, leaving your home? Does she stay with you? You know, is she going to stay with you? Does she leave home? Like, do you think about that?
I dream about it. You know what I mean? I have dreams where she's talking to me.
Right.
You know, but I would hope that we could fast track this thing to where she's gonna live by herself.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is right now, it's just we're not on that.
Not there.
It's not there yet.
But you dream about it.
Yeah, we dream. Yeah,
Of
course. You gotta shoot for it. And then we're trying different things. We've tried different schools where, you know, you gotta try everything. We actually there's this au pair program where we have we just have somebody coming from Germany to live with us, and her main purpose is to work with Michaela. So like when she wakes up in the morning, brushing her teeth, bathing herself, like just being independent, all these functional goals that we have for her. That's the most important. I don't mind Michaela living with us. Because
of course
it's gonna get boring in the house with just us two. You know, so no, but we just want to be able to. We want her to be
as
able
independent
to take,
as possible.
Because we're not gonna be here forever. I mean, we're getting old fast, man. Time is flying.
Listen,
It's time. Time is flying.
Me and my girlfriends, my roommates from Spelman, we are still close to this very day. And we were talking about this year we're celebrating 20 years of friendship. We are, you know, round up to the nearest
20 years. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's going down, and you never really think about it until you.
Well, I claim 25. That's my honorary age. That's what I go by. TJ's like, Mom, you have to stop telling people that they're gonna think you were a teen mom.
I know, right? I claim all these 38 years. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, because I love when they look at me like, you don't look good 38. I'm like, no, I don't. That's good. Drinking a lot of water and wine. Yeah. So tell me what through these you said she was diagnosed at 3?
Actually around like 18 months.
Okay. Okay. So not even 2. Okay. So these years, what was your most challenging moment? Was it patience? Was it a scenario? What was your most challenging moment? And what would you, for those who are not necessarily dealing with her genetic challenge, but
Special
autism,
needs,
special needs or whatever, what would be your piece of advice?
Just know that there's other people out there in the same boat, and I feel like God wouldn't have placed, you know, the child in your life if you couldn't handle it, and if it wasn't meant to be. I feel like I'm extremely blessed because of her, and I you know, I mean, just know that, you know, you're here to protect. You're here to protect them and make sure they can live, you know, the best life possible. And that's what I would say. I mean, I guess there's so many challenging moments throughout the day. I mean,
but you just committed. Basically.
Yeah, you committed. I mean, we've had times where Michaela ran away from the school, like left the school.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've had times where, I mean, there's so many different things that you just have to be aware of, like child locks on the cars. And,
right.
You know, you get a new car, or you're in an Uber or something. Michaela's new thing is if you're talking too much, she'll just tap you on the head. She's like,
that's what I want to do.
She's like, so I'm done.
Exactly.
Okay. Right. Like, it's enough.
And at first we were laughing. He's like, that's so funny, whatever. Until you're in an Uber.
Right.
And the Uber driver's talking. And she just
like, it's enough. It's enough.
And the Uber driver turns around like, what's going on?
Right.
I'm like, she's rushing in. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of those moments, kind of like, you know, just adjusting to whatever environment you're in. And it's life. You'll get used to it, and it's forever changing.
Right.
As she grows, it changes. Each challenge is changing. You know what I mean? So, but God wouldn't have place her in our lives if we couldn't handle it, if it wasn't meant to be. So
Absolutely, 100%. I could do a whole nother 2 hours of this conversation
for sure.
But we at that 9 o'clock hour.
All right.
Listen, so I want to make sure that we know, and you all know, that I am going to make sure that we post everywhere that you need to register, support all of the autism.org hashtag, all the hashtags. We're going to make sure that you do all of that. But when we come back, I want to talk about the inspiration behind As Long As I Got You. And what is his message? What is his purpose? What does he want us to do?
Gotcha.
Give us some action so that we can stand behind you. That's what we're going to ask Needlz when we come back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9, and we'll be right back.
All right.
You take it all the way out. Yes, yes.
Transition.
When you said we'd be right back, you just started dancing. No, because I said 850. I said 850. Teamwork makes dream work. Ooh, my drive.
Your new favorite internet radio, Power 108.9.
You want to answer that, don't you?
What side of
I
time
bet
you
it's
guys
just
on?
killing
said
you
midnight.
seeing the
Okay.
soft
And
glow
what time
just
is it on the
inches
southern?
away. Someone wants to tell you something
Okay.
or ask you
Yeah,
something.
I'll be late. It's my daughter's birthday
come
party.
on, answer it already.
Right. Wait, so listen.
Yeah, you just
Just
like
so
my
clear. That wasn't my fault.
No.
Next time, ignore your inner voice. Don't text and drive.
Stay up on what's happening here at Power. We've got new shows, new guests, and new events that help us connect with the community. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Power 108.9. You can also go to power1089.com to get all of the updated news and happenings here at Power. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, man, gotta make the songs that make a difference.
I'm going to be there to support.
Yeah, they're going to bring the whole
Eddie, the break that we're on right now. Welcome back. You're listening to The Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And if you are just tuning in, you have missed a phenomenal, just knowledgeable in just conversation that you need to, if you missed it, you need to hit the replay. You know, I'm going to repost it. I'm going to repost all the hashtags. I'm going to give you all the websites and all of that you need to be connected to. We have my special guest in the building, Needlz.
What's up?
Grammy Award winner. You know, I like to give people their props.
Give him all his accolades.
Give him all his accolades. And that ain't even, that's just one. Okay. I need y'all to Google. Y'all know y'all love to Google.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check my Instagram, I got all his stuff up on there. Okay, so because I want to make sure we get this in, as time goes by fast.
Mm-hmm.
You have a 15-minute film called As Long As I Got You, correct?
Yes.
All right. Tell us your inspiration behind that.
Basically, you know, once again, once Michaela was diagnosed, as we're growing as a family, I just always thought that there was something unique about our family.
Mm-hmm.
Although, once again, there's a lot of families going through what we're going through. But, you know, I have a daughter that's really outgoing. She's an actress. She's this. I have a son who's just my only son. He's this thing. Then we have Michaela, and she's autistic and on the spectrum. Then my wife, she's an entrepreneur. She's really big in fashion and real estate. And then you got me, while I'm doing my thing. So I always thought that was an interesting dynamic for people to see, because once again, like kids don't really see a family kind of operating. Like for me, I saw the Huxtables,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And then I knew I was going to college. Yeah, different world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like we don't see those images anymore, and I just wanted to do something that kind of showed that. So maybe even, I don't know, 8 years ago, probably even longer, I wanted to just shoot, just to, you know, I didn't know where it was going to live or anything like that. So I had this guy shoot, this random guy shoot footage for us for like a good 6 months. And then the guy disappears. I'm like, yo, he's not picking up my calls. Like, what's going on?
Okay.
I'm not picking up my calls. Come to find out, the dude is in jail.
Oh Lord.
So the dude was in jail, lost all the footage and stuff like that from 8 years ago. It was great stuff too. So then I was like, well, you know, and I just kind of got the itch not too long ago to do the same thing, hire somebody and pay out of my pocket to follow us and do whatever. Just once again to bring, like, to highlight the dynamics of the family and, you know, how it can maybe help some other people. But as I was about to hire this new group of video team or whatever, this ad agency that I had done some work for like a few weeks, they stepped to me. They were like, look, we really work with you for a couple hours and see the dynamics of your family. So we want to film you, and, you know, we want to just follow you and just, you know, get a more in-depth kind of feeling for what a day-to-day, you know, what day-to-day is for a music producer. Yeah. Not necessarily Michaela. It was about me.
Sure.
And then as they followed us for about 6 months, maybe a little bit longer, they saw a story within that, you know, and it was just basically like a love song, just about the dynamic about, you know, me, my family, and my daughter, and the reason why the name of the song was called As Long As I Got You is because, once again, my daughter, Michaela, really, really loves music. Her favorite song at the time was a song, like I said, I've been executive producing this project by Nicole Buss, and she's saying, I can't sing, but I was like, nah, but there's a lyric in the song which is as long as I got you, and one of her singles. So yeah, that that was the inspiration or the reason why I wanted to do the film in general. It was more so about just showing other people the family dynamic, which is not really out there like that.
Yes, definitely in the music industry.
Yeah,
sure.
and then especially in the music industry. But the ad agency saw another story within it, and I think it was really beautiful how they
absolutely.
Well, I'll say this. You know, when I got the clip of the film, let me go back. I receive a lot of requests for people in the industry or who want to be in the industry. You are the first.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Because the Unbroken experience is what it is. It's a mission designed to strengthen the family foundation so they can remain unbroken. So what I do is for a purpose. We're not here to just break music onto the scene.
Yeah, right? I was actually interested about, you know, why you named it that and stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's the reason, because, you know, you know, my journey, you know, and my story is for a day, you know, a story for another day. But I understand that, you know, families come in all kinds of facets, all kinds of colorful arrays, you know. But if we can, as adults, change the spectrum, change the dynamic of it, because as children, what we experience in our household, that's what we take with us into our adults.
Absolutely.
And if, let's say, we have a challenging or dysfunctional or toxic childhood, we take that into adulthood, and a lot of us don't get help for it.
Absolutely.
Because you don't recognize it as dysfunctional.
Absolutely.
It's normal.
It's normal.
It's normal to you.
Yeah.
So for me, it is so important. I don't care if I help one family, but that one family is going to help another family, and it's going to go on and go on. So it's very important to me, the family foundation, whatever that foundation. It might be a blended family. It might be one family that's been together this whole time. It might be a single parent. Whatever that case may be, that is my purpose.
Absolutely.
And so when I watched your film, when I kept saying all week, I was like, I hope I don't cry. And it's not out of sadness.
Yeah.
You know, it is about when I saw her smiling, Michaela smiling and jumping around and enjoying that music.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
she loved it, yeah.
And then as a daddy's girl myself, and just seeing her with you and you being so attentive. And we know moms, we be all up in the business.
Yeah.
You know, we be all up in the mix.
Yeah.
But to see a committed dad, that was so powerful to me that I could not wait. Like I've been waiting for Thursday for a while to be able to share, you know, the light on real good men.
Yeah.
A man first.
And black men. Because that's not exposed in our culture. You know, it's deemed that black men are absent fathers and
just not
not domestic or not involved, right?
Or
they're cheating husbands.
It, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So it's very important to me to show that it is not a rare thing. It's more common than what people think. It's just what's put out there.
Absolutely.
And so before I make sure that we do our hashtags and all of that, I want to commend you as a man, as a dad, as a husband. As a business person.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
and he deserves all of that. You know, and shout out to all you good men out of there really trying to do your thing. We appreciate you. We salute you. I had a post maybe about 2-3 posts ago that I saluted. My husband celebrated his 46th birthday. And just all the good men that he had around him that particular evening. So, okay, so we about to wrap up.
We gotta wrap up.
I really enjoyed you.
Yes.
I've been anticipating. I'm so glad that you came and being so transparent. But I want you to, if you need help, I got you. His Art Speaks is September 7th, Saturday, September 7th. Starting at 6:00, we're not on CP time. We're on time. Okay.
Yes.
6 to 9, and we're not coming to say hi. We're coming to spend coins. I want to make sure we are coming. I don't care whatever the cheapest one. We'll fit that in your budget. Okay. And but we want to bring some. I personally want to bring some people that are ready to spend some coins.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Tell them where they can register, and if you need help, I got you. Art Speaks 2019 at gmail.com. Art Speaks 2019 at gmail.com. Find out a little bit more about autism at autismspeaks.org. And we're going to make sure I'm going to post all this. Don't worry. Hashtag Michaela Fighting Autism. We want to make sure that we promote that hashtag so we can follow everything that's been going on. And 15% of all of the purchases of the arts goes to Autism Speaks. Okay. Yes. And Needlz, tell them where they can find you on social media.
I got that one. At Produced by Needlz. So it's PROD by Needlz. That's NEEDLZ. And all of that information will be on there, or you'll see the promotions for that. And also my website, my company website is driverainent.com.
That's right. You guys will also find this on my page as well. Lydia, tell them where they can find you on social media.
At True Superstar. I was about to say .com. True Superstar on IG.
Okay, and you guys know where you can find me. I am on Instagram at the Syndy B. Spell my name right. The N becomes before the D. SYNDYB. The Syndy B. And also at the Unbroken Experience on Instagram and all of that, and YouTube. You can find the links in my bio. Okay. All right. And make sure you tune in every Thursday at 7:00 p.m. to the Unbroken Experience with Syndy B on Power 108.9. And we'll see you next week. Ciao.
All right.
I think about all the time. Think you may need all of mine. Hate to say, that love is blind. I'm about to see. I close my eyes. They can see you in here though. Most of them need dollar signs to make every day your birthday and every night your Valentine. But